Okay, in this video, we're going to go ahead and look at something with a little bit more trigonometric bite, if you will. And this is a problem that kind of progresses like this, okay? So you're in your car, and you want to know the height of this particular mountain right there. Now, that said, is that you have, I guess, an instrument that is going to measure the angle of elevation from the ground to the tip of the mountain, and that's going to be 3.5 degrees. Then you get in your car and you drive 13 miles towards the mountain and repeat the process, and the angle of elevation is going to be 9 degrees. And so what we're looking at is, how do we find the height of the mountain, just given some of that information? So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to break apart the dotted triangles that are kind of overlapping there, and the two different triangles, and we're going to take a look at how we can combine these to form one statement and solve for that height. So here we go. Okay, so we have these triangles here, and we're not done quite yet, but we have put triangles off to the side. We got this shared side right here of the blue triangle and the purple triangle there, and that's what we're trying to solve for, the height. So we need this bottom piece right here, because we got this information of 13 miles. Now, here's the deal, is that it's only 13 miles you drive towards the mountain. You don't get all the way towards the mountain, of course, and so there is an additional X amount that are going to be from where you took the 9-degree elevation measurement to the tippy top of the mountain there, okay? So what we can do is that we're going to call this side X, okay, because that is this side of the purple triangle. And if we're going to go the entire thing right here, we're going to call that 13 plus X, okay? And so what we want to do is that we want to, the aim is that since we want to solve for H, okay? We probably want to go ahead and combine the X's here, so we just contain one particular statement about H. So let's try. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to go ahead and create the two statements, and it looks like we're going to be using these angles right here and the sides, which are going to be an opposite and adjacent, which lends itself to tangent. So I'm going to write the two statements out and see how we can put these two together. Okay, and so let's take a look. We got the two tangents there, and what I want to do is that the game plan that I'm going to go after is that I want to solve for this X. That is that get that X all by itself, so I can take that statement, whatever it's going to be, and plug it in for this X, and I'll have everything for H all dialed out. So let me go ahead and see. It shouldn't be too difficult here, considering the X and the tangent can just switch places, and so I'm going to say that we got X equals H divided by the tangent of 9 degrees, or we can write it as not a fraction. We can just say H times the cotangent of 9 degrees. Okay, so I'm just going to put that H right there so it doesn't look like a weird word. Okay, so that's what X equals. And what I'm going to do is that since X equals that, as I explained, then I'm going to put it in for that and see what comes of that. Okay, so let's plug it in and start working it down. And I'm going to start it up here. Okay, and so we end up with this statement. So again, not to get all arrowy, but put that this part in for X, and now we are right here. Okay, and so what we're going to do is that we're going to multiply each side by this denominator here. Okay, so I'm going to show the next line. Okay, so I move that denominator on over to the left to achieve that. And then I'm going to use the distributive property because my aim is to get all of the h's on one side so I could solve for it, but it needs a little bit of algebra kind of making things worse before it gets better type deal. So here's the next line. Okay, so after it's all distributed, looks like that, and this term right here has the h in it, so I want to move the entire thing on over to that side, so I'm going to subtract it from each side so I can factor the h out and then move everything back. Okay, so there is the subtracted from each side part. Now I'm going to factor the h out like that guy. So there is the h now finally all by itself. And then I'm going to divide each side by this, and that will give me the exact value of h, and then I'll need help from a calculator to go ahead and evaluate it. So here is what the final part will look like. Okay, so that's the whole yuckiness that it has going for it right here, the height of that mountain. And so if we want to know exactly what it is, it looks like it's approximately 1.295 miles and some change. Okay, so at any rate, that's how you do that, and we can take a look at the next assignment here, and download the practice and give it a try. And there's you got to get creative with some of these things. They're not meant to be like super straightforward. It's meant to be pre-calculus level type stuff. So, all right, give it a try, and I'll see you in the next video.